Welcome everyone to the Underground Sound. We were just goofing off with effects and everything like that. I'll put that up as a separate video. I am DJ X Tech. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. Carlos, how are you
Hello.
doing?
How's things?
How's things? I am doing well. I think we got to bring up Kate Bush again, just real quick, because on the radio they had stated that last week she cashed in $1 million for that week. So running up that hill is still very much running up the top of the charts. I think she even made it to number 1 on Billboard, did she not?
Oh, I don't know. That'd be great if she did. I'm not sure if she's ever had an American number one. Probably never been overly popular over there, but because she feels more of a British, quirky British artist. But I don't know. How successful was she in the past there?
I don't think she had a ton of success, right? But running up that hill is literally, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're listening to a heavy metal station, it doesn't matter if you're listening to a rock station, it doesn't matter if you're listening to a hip hop station, whatever the case may be, whatever, if there's a radio station out there, they are playing Running Up That Hill. And so once again, we talked about it 2 weeks ago when this song was just kind of like gaining steam, that she was doing about 250,000 pounds per week. So last week, apparently it was $1 million for the week. So much congratulations to Kate Bush for that. Running Up That Hill, great song. It is it's entertaining, but it's going to fall into that lull, obviously, because it is just being overplayed, like the radio stations are like playing it like probably every 20 minutes or so, right? So eventually it will fade into oblivion again, unfortunately, but hey, what can you do?
Well, do you know, I mean, I still listen to Kate Bush regularly, and I mean, on that album, the B-sides are a piece on its own, really, a sort of concept piece, but the whole album is concept piece. But on the A side, it's a little more conventional tracks. My favourite is Cloud Busting on there, and actually the Hounds of Love, partially because it cites it uses a snippet from an old late 1950s sort of horror magic sort of film, and it's just a classic song. But video is great as well. She was making some great videos. I mean, the video of Cloud Busting was with Donald Sutherland as well, and it's just fantastic. I think she's just such a good artist. I mean, she was streets ahead of her time and just amazing and artistic and creative, but also made some unusual pop songs. You wouldn't nobody else would release this kind of stuff that she was, when you've got songs, just really odd songs sometimes. She's just wonderful, absolutely brilliant.
I was just thinking because I was listening to the song and I was breaking it down, kind of like instrument by beat and everything like that, and so it sounds really kind of like simple in its setup, but it really meshes well together, and the lyrics like work for it. So I mean, I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, I'm happy for her. Obviously, I'm happy for any musician that's really gonna get their music out there. Once again, it wasn't very popular, and she never really did like ultra well or anything like that, but now in 2022, here we go, here's a breakthrough song for her, so it's just
it's for me
she's got the success now.
Being a Kate Bush fan, I think for me it's so good to that some people 20, 30 years on, well actually no, sorry, nearly 40 years on from when she came out, or more, some people are finally going to discover her and realize there's all this back catalogue. I mean, it's not a huge back catalogue because she hasn't been what you would call prolific, but whatever she has done has been excellent and high quality. So, particularly, I think, for me, the late 70s, early 80s albums, mind you, I say that, but Ariel is a really good album as well, a double album, and so is 50 Words for Snow. Just actually everything she does is great, and but there's some really truly exceptional songs with some unusual subject matters as well, and I just think she's pretty much a one-off and national treasure. And it's, in fact, she lived not too far down the road from where I lived before, and she wasn't too far down the road. My dad was only saying the other day that he was actually sort of walking behind her in the village once, and she just realised who she was, but she was a tiny little thing, he said. But just hadn't really hadn't really given it much thought at the time. Mind you, he was also out fishing once many years ago in the 1970s. And this American guy, I mean, he's just wanting to quietly fish and have a bit of peace and quiet. And this American guy came up to him and started talking to him. And my dad said, he's not usually very rude to people, but he was actually acting a bit rude and offish and just disinterested totally, and trying to get rid of the guy as quickly as possible. Anyway, next day, my mum was reading the paper and my dad said, that's that guy. And my mum says, what, Perry Como? So it was Perry Como had taken a break from recording his Christmas show at Hever Castle in Kent, gone, walking about and fishing and so forth, and happened upon this really miserable English guy who was my dad.
Nice.
He didn't even know who he was.
Nice.
I think that could have been a friendship. He could have, if he'd just been more pleasant to Perry Como, might have gotten in for me. So when I got to a certain age, Perry Como would have said, listen, I know some great music producers, got a little in there.
Yeah, could have opened up a little bit of doors there. Yeah. Well, what can you do?
What can you do? My dad wanted to fish.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. He wanted to rest and relax, right?
Exactly.
Had enough from raising you and your brother at the time. So, hey. Yeah.
Yep.
So, just to touch base on this real quick, what do you think about the Way Too Sexy contest?
Now I've seen that come through, but I haven't had a chance. This has been so busy this week with helping the kids move, and I've not had a chance to look at it. I saw it and I thought, oh, what's that? But then I never really ventured. So you tell me about it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm still kind of thinking about this because, Way Too Sexy. Here, let me just start sharing the screen real quick.
And I went to read it last night and then I got interrupted. So it's just been silly busy.
Here we go. Screen sharing. Why did this? There we go. Okay. So, Way Too Sexy. This was a song by Drake, and it featured Young Thug. I believe it was Young Thug. It was Young Thug and Future, right? And so, it has a really catchy beat to it. I think that's really what made the song. It really wasn't the lyrics or anything, but the video is kind of like cleverly made. But I mean, this was all over the radio and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I just figured, like, why don't we do a contest or something like that, right? And so I kind of like picked out like 2 prizes, which I thought were pretty cool. Which one of them was the Shure SM27 condenser microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's popping up, and then the Behringer QX1832 mixer. I'll provide pictures for those later.
Mm-hmm.
And so the basic rules would be, there are 3 artists involved, but you may yourself sing all these segments by yourself, right? All the original lyrics must be used except for, whichever words you deem offensive. Be original and creative, because I'd like to say, like I mentioned here, is like if you want to sing it in the style of Pink Floyd, Eminem, the Beatles, Dire Straits, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, get creative with it. Maybe you want to do a Johnny Cash version. Then the version that you actually send me cannot be uploaded to your distributor company. It's a distribution company prior to this contest being closed. After that, feel free to put it up and distribute it as a cover. Obviously, for the contest to go into effect, there would need to be at least 10 submissions. Your version will temporarily become the property of Pulse Media LLC, just due to all the legal stuff. As mentioned previously, you are responsible for whatever VAT taxes your country may impose, on the import. That would be the only thing. I'll pay for the rest. But music video is not required. But if you feel like recording one, by all means, go ahead, because that would just be really funny to see those, to see what people come up with and everything like that for this song. And file must be submitted either in WAV or MP3 format, 128 kilobytes per second or better. And now I was kind of thinking, because I like the song. It's a hip hop song, and it would be really cool to kind of like see like a heavy metal version of it, or something like that, a Carlos Fandango version. Obviously, for all intents and purposes, myself, Carlos Fandango, and Rookie Rogers, it's stated earlier on in the rules that we are automatically disqualified from winning these prizes and doing this, participating in this contest. Like, we can put out our versions if we like, but obviously we just cannot win. And if we do end up with like higher votes than anybody else, then obviously we would concede to the runner-up. So I thought it was interesting. I just don't know about the song exactly.
Do you know, I may have heard it, but because I've not paid much attention to the chart music from the last 20 years or so, a little bit, because my son and daughter were growing up and I heard by default quite a lot of it, so incessantly. But I'm sure I'll probably know it if I heard it. So I will make a beeline for listening to it and then just have a little listen and think what sort of version would be good. Reggae version could be good, or Hank Williams, or it'd be.
Let's
Oh,
let's just you and I take a listen right now. If we get copyright stricken on this, then obviously I'll just cut this portion out
oh,
of
of
the video.
course, yeah. I was going to say,
I'm
yeah.
figuring that we probably will get copyright stricken, but you and I can just listen to this real quick. The link will be obviously in the description below, so that way you can check out the original video. And once again, if there's any suggestions, like if you guys would rather do, like, let's say, because I've been vibing on this pretty hard lately, which was Post Malone with Rockstar. If you think of other hip hop songs that you'd like to see, like maybe like a metal version of, or a spoken word version of, or whatever the case may be, Bob Dylan, Beatles, whatever, right? Again, once again, just being creative with this, I think that this would be a really interesting contest to do. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, for example, right? Great song, maybe, a nice heavy metal version of that or whatever. But yeah, let's just take a listen real quick and then just let me know what you think. So, I mean, again, it's the words are like nonsensical, so I just thought it would be funny since it's like nonsensical to have like this contest going.
Yes, it's interesting. The sample that starts off the song, the "I'm Too Sexy" bit, is the obviously Right Said Fred
Right.
song,
Yeah.
92 and or 91, and basically because this because I did wonder if it was to do with that, but that was actually a really big hit, was it? That song, because the video is very slick, as they generally are. There's a lot of money pumped into them, but when I think about it, I was thinking, wow, that would be hard to do as a Beatles, because it's one chord all the way through. It's not even a chord, really. It's just because it's hooking on the bass, isn't it?
It's completely offbeat as well. The beat doesn't drop when you have your chord progression, when you have the vocal progression, the beat doesn't actually drop off until like about 16 bars through, right? So it's just the timing of it is very weird. What makes it really catchy is the beat, right? Like if you listen to the beat by itself, then it's real catchy. But being Drake, as Drake, so this has in 10 months 85 million views.
Good grief.
Yeah.
What has the world come to?
it was a hit. It was a hit, and I mean that's what we're dealing with. And so I'm thinking
it makes me glad that we're doing the underground music where people actually, I mean, I know there's a lot of hip hop and rap on there, but and that's not, it's not like it's not creative, but I don't know. It's just amazes me what goes for a hit these days. Yeah, because people don't seem to. They're so conditioned that they don't want melody, harmony, chords, structure.
Here's what's going to be hits. Okay, any song that has a catchy hook, any song that has a very catchy beat that can be played in a club, that's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
We're pretty much there. I don't really think that a lot of people, you and I, Rookie, for example, we probably still use music on our playlist to kind of like sit back, kick back, and relax, right? But I think that a lot of people really don't have playlists kind of like set up anymore like that. I think that most of it is kind of like going on the fly. Now, if you want to listen to, because I was debating this, because I had spoken with Jamie within me, Jamie Salazar within me. And I asked him for advice, and I was like asking him, like, if you were to do a cover, would you rather do "Way Too Sexy" by Drake, or would you rather do "Rockstar" by Post Malone? So if you haven't heard that one, let me just play this one for you real quick, because once again, this is a song that I've been vibing to. I heard it on the radio, and it's just like automatically I came inside the house, and I put it on. So I've been vibing to this, pretty hard. All right.
That would be easier to cover because at least it's got okay, it's got this. It's hard to call it chords because it's mainly centered around the bass changing the note to one note to another, and
Well, that would be
but
the
it
thing.
is a chord. It's,
That would be the point of the contest. Would be
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at least it kind of develops that one. It
Right.
seems like it's sort of slightly. Yeah, there's a distinct section.
Yeah.
So
This one I could definitely see being like kind of like a Bob Marley style reggaeton or something like that. I mean, this could work a lot of ways. And if you see the numbers there, the Drake Way Too Sexy video at 85 million views, and the official music video for that song, because that was the clean version that we listened to, is at 1 billion views.
1 billion views.
1 billion.
What, the clean version or the?
No, the official music video. If you look at it right up here, you got Post Malone featuring 21 Savage official music video right here. 1 billion views. That was 4 years ago.
Oh, I thought it said 18. It's 1 billion at 1B.
Yep. Drake featuring.
I just don't know what's wrong with the world. Honestly, it just leaves me cold. It's just like, okay, well, yeah, another one of those. Okay, and it's and the N words in it, and I'm thinking, really, 1 billion views. If I use the N word, it'd be like, be trashed.
Oh, listen to the dirty version of it, my friend.
Oh, I know, but they're all out there. But it's just I don't know. It's really strange. Culture's just so changed now.
It is.
I should have been born. I mean, I know I was born in 72, but I should have been born at least 20 years before, I reckon. Or maybe actually probably about 40 years. 40 years, yeah, before. Because I just feel like I'm from the wrong generation. I think my mum and dad were the luckiest people alive, though, because they were, 13 years old teenagers when the Beatles were getting really big in about 63 in the UK, and then obviously made it big in America in 64. But they were just the perfect age for all that music.
I always tell myself that, I should have been the age that I am now in the 50s, approaching the 60s. Really.
Yeah, I would have been way more suited to that time.
Yeah. We talked about like the whole trad wife movement and everything like that, and all that, I am definitely, a trad husband kind of guy,
Same.
So yeah. So it's just one of those things. I'm definitely an adult in the wrong generation.
Yeah.
100%. It would have been nice to, be the breadwinner and basically raise a family very calmly and peacefully. And we got a lot going on right now, which just prohibits that. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty much the same thing in England right now. I don't understand how anybody is making minimum wage and surviving at this moment. It's got to be so fucking difficult, man.
Yeah, my Susie, she's works in primary school, and she's virtually on minimum wage because she's at a school. It's the pay is prorated and spread across the year. But you're only paid for the time that you're actually in, but it's spread out, so it's less. And actually, due to a tax change, she's actually earning less than she was before. So and the bills are going up. So, and the value of the pound has gone down because successive governments keep printing money and devaluing the pound. So this is what's been happening for 20, 30 years or more. And unfortunately, the pound in our pockets doesn't actually buy much now. So, it is a shame that successive governments have completely mismanaged, and this is not just in the UK.
No, it's not. It's not just in the UK. I was actually talking with a gentleman in my car the other day. He was an older gentleman, probably approaching 70s, 80s, and he was telling me that everything that he sees happening now was the same thing that was happening in the mid 70s leading up to the 80s, where the Fed actually raised rates up to 16%, and we experienced hyperinflation and things of that sort. And here's the thing: when this year passes, I've been saying this for a while, where I think that home values are going to start to drop by the end of December, early January, because the market has to catch up with itself. So pretty much whatever the market has gained when President A was, or President T, let's just call him President
Yeah.
T, was in office. So any wealth that was gained in the market during that time since President J has been in office has been completely pretty much erased. So it dropped 20% just last week, and it went up by 1%, today. And obviously, if you read comments on Facebook, which is kind of like the most fucking evil shit that I think that there is, honestly, at this point, they're like, yeah, see, the market's going back up. Yeah, but you don't understand that it fucking dropped dramatically, for crying out loud. Okay, great. It went up 1%. Where's the other 19?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like one of those things. Let's not get too much into politics. That was for a whole different show right there. So,
Well, we better start the show, I suppose.
yeah, we need to celebrate these underground musicians. So, whoever's listening, just real quick, if you've listened to those two songs right there, or maybe you have a suggestion for a third song, fourth song, just, hey, keep them rolling in. I'm planning on getting this contest started August 1st, which still leaves us about 3 weekends. So let me know. Just seriously, go onto pulsemediamag.com, hit the way too sexy contest is what it says right there on the tab. Put comments down there if you think that it should be a different song, what song you'd like to. I will obviously go by popular consensus on which song it is. Please make it a hip hop song, because the majority of the people that we see are coming back with kind of like rock and like, instrumentals and stuff like that. So I would like to see a rock version of a hip hop song. I think it would be very cool. There are musical prizes involved. Once again, if you check pulsemediamag.com under the Way Too Sexy column, you'll see that it's the Shure SM27 large condenser microphone and the Behringer QX, whatever the hell it is. It's like a 21 channel mixer with all kinds of effects and everything like that. Very cool prizes. Plus, not to mention that I will personally advertise the winning song, promote it for $10 a day for a full 30 days, posted on the Underground Sound channel. So that's $300 worth of advertising that you're getting, and probably about like $700 worth of musical equipment. So by all means, please let me know, and we're going to kick this thing off on August 1st. So we'll get that going. And what can you tell me, Carl, about this first song we got coming up here?
Okay, our show starter for this week is an act called Meet Me at the Bus Stop. And the song, funny enough, I've got a title called Lost as well. It's called Lost. I just thought it was quite a good song when I first heard it. Now this artist, let's have a quick look, is two-man band. We love making music together, and we're just trying to get it out there for people to hear, which is great. I've followed them based on the one song that I heard, although they've got 3, 4, 5 songs on there already. So
looks like 4.
All right, okay,
yeah, five tracks. I mean, it says right
so
here.
Yeah, so we need to check that one out. And Meet Me at the Bus Stop. Well, that's quite an interesting.
Meet Me at the Bus Stop with Lost. Let's take a listen, folks.
I just want to know what you think about when you're alone. Do you wish for the day when you can walk away, never looking back at what you used to call home? I don't think I'll ever know, but maybe that's the way you wanted. I know that you didn't think I'd notice you stringing my heart along, but still I want you to wake up and say that you're forever gonna stay here. Say what you want to my face. Right now we're walking in place, we're taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Say what you wanna do next, not just I'm making you vex when I'm just trying to get us back on track. I guess it's just the way it goes. Cause I'm a lost boy walking the world in the rain, and I'm hoping she's doing the same. She's a lost girl waiting for the weather to change, and she's only ever passing the blame. And her words all empty, blissful, carefree. She never turned around when I begged her to stay. She got me standing trial, though I'm not guilty, and then she walks away. And now we're getting to the point of no return. You're gonna waste my time saying you're just fine, and then it's all just gonna crash and burn. Just say what you want to my face. For now we're walking in place. We're taking one step forward and two steps back. Say what you wanna do next, not just I'm making you vex, when I'm just trying to get us back on track. Cause I'm a lost boy walking the world in the rain, and I'm hoping she's doing the same. She's a lost girl waiting for the weather to change, and she's only ever passing the blame. And her words all empty, blissful, carefree. She never turned around when I begged her to stay. She got me standing trial, though I'm not guilty, and then she walks away. That I never knew the feeling that I might be losing you. It's nothing that you say, it's just the little things you do. It won't be long till you end up with someone new. Cause I'm a lost boy walking the world in the rain, and I'm hoping she's doing the same. She's a lost girl waiting for the weather to change, and she's only ever passing the blame. And her words all empty, blissful, carefree. She never turned around when I begged her to stay. She got me standing trial, though I'm not guilty, and then she walks away. Cause I'm a lost boy walking the world in the rain, and I'm hoping she's doing the same. She's a lost girl waiting for the weather to change, and she's only ever passing the blame. And her words all empty, blissful, carefree. She never turned around when I begged her to stay. She got me standing trial, and she swears I'm guilty, and then she walks away.
Well, meet me at the bus stop with Lost. Carlos Fandango, obviously the last comments. As always, you tend to, I know that you like to leave comments because you like to listen to the entire song.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I put comments on different times, but usually it's because I've listened to the song, I just put the comment on right at the end.
Right. Which is, I think we found a use for the filters. Hey, but yeah, I was really vibing to that song. I'm going to tell you, awesome production quality, first of all. Second of all, very catchy, great lyrics. Say what you wanna, but this song rocks. And you know, when you get that break where everything just kind of dropped and boom, boom, went back up, fantastic.
Yep, I've loved this. I wrote down exactly same sort of things: catchy, memorable, lots of detail in there, solid production, and solid, nice voice. I mean, there is a slightly sort of modern delivery, vocal affectation that there's a certain way of singing that sometimes bugs me a little bit, but that's just a personal stylistic thing that was in the noughties quite a lot with those sort of type of singers. But he's got a really good voice. He's got a very solid delivery. And actually, I think, very radio friendly as well. Catchy from the get-go, though, right from the start of the song to the end of the track. It had you hooked in, listening, interested, was never boring.
Absolutely.
And loved it. Really good.
Yeah. Very well done, guys. Very well done. That was a great show starter. Awesome. Fantastic. Loved it. I'm going to hop back on later on and listen to a little bit more from them there. As you saw, I followed them, left them a comment, a couple of fires. I don't like uneven numbers with fires, so I always try to even it out. In multiples of 5 is okay, though. So
yeah. So even numbers or round numbers are okay then.
Right. Yeah. We'll be good. We'll be good like that. So just as long as we keep them going. So there we go. All right. Great song to open the show. Let's head on to song number 2, where we have Joda Sadadias.
Yep.
Jonah
featuring
Salmons.
Leela Ruby.
Featuring Leela Ruby. This is a synth pop track featuring Leela Ruby. It's called Fire. What can you tell me about the song off the bat, Carl?
I think this one's a good second track, and it's quite upbeat. They're actually a Chilean Canadian artist, songwriting, music production, recording, mixing, and mastering. It says here. So this guy obviously gets artists to feature in a song. It's had 37 plays, 40 fires, and 2 saves, one of them being mine. But I actually think it's quite good. So it's a short and sweet song, but see what you think.
Short is for sure. Sweet is debatable because I haven't heard it yet. So let's take a listen here. 2 minutes 32 seconds. This is Fire. All right, Carl, take it away.
Right, I think my brother would like this one because he's into a synth pop and stuff. But it reminded me a little bit of La Rue, a little bit of there's something in the start that reminded me of From Paris to Berlin by Infernal.
No.
It's catchy, upbeat, only in something about it. Can't put my finger on it, but it's probably just more the beat. The vocals. I'll come back to that in a second. The synthesizers. I think he's using some old kit there. So retro sort of sounds coming out, and I liked all that. That's good. I think it was a good, solid production in terms of the structure and the way things, had lots of modern touches. In the terms of the way it was laid out, it probably just lacks a little finesse. Partly in terms of, and I think this is going to be probably one of your points you're going to pick up on, is that there's the vocals are sitting a little bit on top of the mix rather than in the mix, which might be cured by just a tad more of the sort of short decay reverb, I should say.
You know me so well, Carl. You know
Yeah.
me so well. Yes. First thing that I said is that the opening right there, I don't know if you can read it or not, reminds me of Depeche Mode. Just can't get enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just can't get enough. obviously one of my favorite 80s bands of all time, Depeche Mode.
Yep,
You know, it had that kind of feel, and then it kind of like went into kind of like a with the burning me down, kind of went into, I think, a Lady Gaga kind of style.
Yeah.
This is why I was kind of like, you know, you said you know, from Paris to Berlin, and that's why I disagree with that, because it was just kind of like, I felt like really like Infernal. I get it. I get what you're saying, but I think more Lady Gaga. Since it's got that 80s kind of like retro vibe to it, then I totally understand where you're coming from with Infernal, right? But and I think then with the climax of the song, when we were talking about Kate Bush earlier, I think it kind of like goes into like a little bit of a Kate Bush feel, honestly. But I liked it, and yeah, the vocals a little overpowering. Could use a little bit of, you know, delay, catch, reverb, whatever the case may be. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, I think it was done nicely. It wasn't really that the vocals were kind of like on top of the track, right? It was more so that the vocals weren't really like kind of like mixed in, if that makes sense.
Weren't sitting on, they were sitting on the mix rather than in the mix, and it was just, it's a sort of hard trick, isn't it, to get right, because and I think that's partly possibly symptomatic of, I mean, when I'm recording my own stuff, it's different because I'm doing it as I'm mixing the song, and I don't know, maybe it's different, but when you've got somebody sending a track of their vocal separately that you're then mixing into the track, it's just slightly different somehow. I don't know how, but it's just, maybe that's the reason.
It's always going to be difficult, and I think it is going to be one of the most difficult things that you can do is properly mix vocals into a track. And this is why we have sensational, you know, a breakthrough and like kind of like breakout singers and everything like that, right? Is because your voice is going to be the most important instrument that you have if you're a singer. Because, you know, the beat doesn't matter, the you know, the writing doesn't matter if your voice just absolutely sucks if you're a singer, you know. So the same way that do you know that you cannot dream of a face that you have never seen before? That's an actual fact. The human face has so much complexity that your brain absolutely cannot comprehend how to create one from scratch, right? You got your nose, you got your creases, you got your lines. So every face that you've ever dreamt of is a face that you've seen before. So just translate that fact into vocals. Okay, and every vocal for every person is going to be different. Some people can mimic, some people can do impersonations, right? But you're never really going to have that 100% kind of thing going on, right? So vocals are going to be a huge challenge. And for those people that do find it challenging and that do actually work on it, well, congrats, because if you do it correctly, then you're going to make a nice work of art.
And I think with the vocals also, I mean, if you're dealing with somebody, I know how to virtually, how to mix my, although each of the songs I try and do is different, and I deliver them slightly differently, or try to at least, and I try to deliver them in different vocal styles. So I'm kind of producing almost a different vocalist each time, but I kind of know roughly how to sort of, layer up and place and mix my vocals. Now, the thing is, with someone else's vocals, it's a different beast entirely. It's like vocals are an instrument, and it's a new instrument to you when you first hear it. If I'm mixing someone else's vocals, it's a difficult thing to do potentially.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Once again, going back to the face thing, this is why usually your dreams involve you in third person, because you see your face a lot.
Does that include clock faces?
Clock faces? Well, I don't know about all that. All right. Keeping the show going on the road. The pub.
Oh my goodness!
Oh wait,
I thought I was completely prepared, but you know what? I am prepared, and I'm not prepared.
With an empty bowl.
Yeah, I'll put the categories into the bowl.
I'm perfectly prepared with an empty bowl.
Right. Never Shiva. Right. Okay. Right. Say when.
Right now.
Right, okay, let's get rid of that one. What's there? Oh, I think we've had that one before. I think we have synthwave and retro synthwave. So I think that's all part of the same category. Don't know if it gets into focus about there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
There we are.
All right.
So we've had a bit of a couple of synthy sort of songs. Mind you, I mean, there may be a category synthwave, but we know before from playing songs that sometimes people, I was going to say miscategorize them, misgender their songs.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to spill that. It's nice.
Okay, so we got synthwave. So are we going with synthwave or retro synthwave or just retro? Which one?
Well, that song was fairly retro, so I suppose we should go with synthwave then, really, just for different sake. Although I would hands down say retro synthwave.
Let's go synthwave because I'm not sure if they have a retro synthwave, but we got synthwave. Let's see what the new is. Ah, there we go.
Ooh. Tell us about this one. If your eyes permit.
I know, right? This is, yeah. Maribalist posted yesterday. Check this out. 7 fires, 1 save, 6 plays. Let's get a little more info on Maribalist here from Cornwall, UK. So kind of like your neck of the woods, sort of.
Yeah.
How far is Cornwall from you?
It's about, on a good run, about 6 to 6.5 hours drive. Unless you're speeding, then it's probably about 5. But about 6 hours drive. And on a bad run, it can be quite a few hours more. But for us, that's quite a long drive.
Okay.
So,
it usually is in Europe.
Yeah.
Even if you're going like 2 hours away, I mean, you pretty much have to make a day trip of it. You're going to visit family and they live out in the country somewhere, which most of Europe is the countryside. But yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, for 2 hours here is just kind of like nothing. Like a 12-hour trip is like, probably someplace where you'd have to stay overnight, but a 2-hour trip is
for you guys it's 2 hours down the road just to go to the shops.
Well, I mean, it's 88 miles from here to Orlando Disney, right? So yeah, that's a good 2.5 hour run, depending on traffic. So it's just one of those things that we kind of like deal with on a daily basis. So here we go. We got 5 tracks from Maribalist. 118 plays, 14 followers so far. Defines himself as a synthwave, new age, ambient, electronic, and unsigned artist. So we
the latest one's nearly 6 minutes long.
Posted yesterday, 5 minutes 45 seconds. Do we go with that one or do we? Let's see.
Oh, that's 12 minutes.
45, 6:48. Okay.
Yep, I think we better go with that.
Here we go. I think we're gonna stick with the 5:45 just to try to keep go at 2 hours still, right? So hey, here we go. Maribalist posted yesterday with Fresh. Take it away, Carl. I'm leaving the robot head on, by the way. So yeah.
That is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. I've added some comments there to the track. A little bit of fire. Annoyingly for you, although it's odd, it shows us 10 fire for you. For me, it shows us 11. So maybe if you refresh, it'll be on 11, which will frustrate you because then you'll be in a dilemma whether to give it 1 fire to even the number.
Yeah.
Or 5 fire to even the number because now you've just added 1 fire, which is an odd number.
No, 12 is an even number, for crying out loud.
Oh, I see. So the total fire is the key, is it?
Yes.
Not the amount you give it.
What did you think I was looking at? No.
No, I thought it was also down to the amount of fire you give. For instance, right now, you'd have to give it 3 more fire to get it to around number 15 or 4 more fire, 5 in total.
Right now, I would bring it to 15 if it were like at 13, for example.
Right, okay. Is that the only reason I've been getting fire on my tracks, I wonder? I think I'm going to have to give my own tracks.
I don't know.
I
have a little bit of OCD like that, right? So, yeah, maybe. Here's
that's your robot nature.
Let me get my stuff off of here first because obviously, here, the song is very repetitive.
Yep.
The beat is just one single beat, looped and looped and looped and looped and looped. This would very much go better with a 4/4 or an 8/8 style. Where basically you're changing things up every 4 or every 8, right? That would work way better. The spoken word portion was okay. The guitar took me not only by surprise, but I personally don't think the guitar fits with the song at all. So I think that with the beat not having any changes, it's just kind of it's a very stagnant beat.
Oh yeah, I agree. It was fairly static sort of song, quite drifty, I suppose. On another way of looking at it, I was thinking it was quite a sort of drifty, hypnotic sort of song. I like the use of the speech samples. I always quite like those because you think, oh, I wonder where that's from. Is that some scientist sometime? It's a good sort of steady build. It didn't build into anything, but it just sort of built up gradually and slowly and drifted by. Nice retro sort of sounds. I just said keep the Cornish flag flying and keep them coming. I've followed him because I think it could be interesting because he could come up with some interest. Yeah, I want to listen to more of the stuff. So
I do. I do as well. I want to listen to other things. I don't want to judge based on this one song. And once again, folks, for all of you that are listening here, if it's your first time aboard, or if it's or if you've seen the show probably 5 times beforehand, this is all constructive criticism. Is all we do. We're not bashing anybody. We do recommend that you hop into the video description, you check out all of the artists, show them at least a little bit of love. And I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. If it's not, it's not, and that's okay. Music is very fluid and very dynamic to the individual, right? So what may work for one does not work for the other. Doesn't mean that we can't get along, so and once again, these artists are putting in their time to create entertainment for you to enjoy. So give them a listen, give them a like, give them a holler, give them a shout out, whatever you feel correctly for that. But just spread the love with music. Music is important. Music is important.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Good.
When was the last time that you actually smoked pot, Carl? Be honest. It's the internet. No one's gonna know.
It's probably where it was legal as well in Amsterdam in a cafe. Went with a friend, Michael, who's now Mila, and had a great time, actually. Yeah, really good time. Really interesting place as well. Very chilled vibe, as you'd expect. Really good.
Okay, Mr. 50-year-old, though. I'm talking about how long ago was this?
Oh, goodness me. He must have been... That's got to have been... Oh, yes, I do know, actually, because that was then, wasn't it? So that would have been 6.5, nearly 7 years ago.
Okay. This is one of those songs where I think that you could, if you hit a good joint, you could totally get probably lost in this song. Like the time dilation of it wouldn't really make all too much of a, of like that big of an impact, as it does kind of like sober. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that.
I think there's music.
It's a
different
very
music.
trippy
So,
thing, right? So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think different music serves different purposes, and to different people, it means different things. And you can chill out and do that sort of thing, I guess, to Pink Floyd equally, but and
yes,
there's lots of or Tangerine Dream or something like that or whatever. But there's lots of trippy sort of music. But I think that actually would be that's a very chill sort of background vibe while you're having conversations about life, the universe, and everything.
absolutely. Oh yeah,
But whilst in Amsterdam, do as the Amsterdammers do.
absolutely. I think maybe I should smoke sometime and just kind of like sit here and
Do
vibe on this music and just talk about like this costume that this
a
dude's
very
got
chilled
going on,
out
because it's
show.
like,
Yeah.
because this is like, what's going on here?
Oh wow, that's good artwork.
Yeah, that is good artwork. That's very nice.
Yeah.
I like whatever the separation is. Like that is.
Mm.
Well, this is Project Omnisphere. What can you
The track
say about this one?
here is Raindrops, so it's a little bit further down, I think, because he's released one since then. Yeah, so second one down is the track we're playing, and Omnisphere. Okay, so I've forgotten to look up his details. If I can get to it in time, but where you can see. But I think this is. I try to get. I mean, there's a lot of instrumental stuff on Slaps and a hell of a lot actually. So I always pick at least just one for our selection, so that we've got at least one instrumental, sometimes two. But
Right.
And I try and pick ones that are going to connect with people, hopefully. I think this one was a nice track, if I remember rightly, and could connect with people. This guy's from Frankfurt.
Yes, Deutschland. Yeah, see, I don't know. That's kind of sketchy, right? They didn't put Germany; they put Deutschland.
Well, that's what it's called over there.
Right. Okay. But either way, here we go. So we have Project Omnistar. The song is called Raindrops. Take it away, Carl.
Right. Well, I thought I'd put the clouds there because it was called Raindrops. So I like the there's some nice little chord changes in there. I think the artist creates a nice soundscape with that one, which is the intention of the music. It stays interesting. There's lots of little details and sounds in it. It's whilst being a sort of drifty, floaty sort of song. And it's in keeping with the name of the song, Raindrop, I think, with the little plinky plonky synth sounds. Would make good sort of background music and maybe, I think it could be used in different sort of applications, maybe gaming or something as well. There's a bit of Massive Attack, William Orbit, Kraftwerk sort of fusion of styles in there that I can hear. And I quite liked it. A little bit of Jarre here, Jean-Michel Jarre here and there. But I just thought it was quite a nice, pleasant, drifty track. And if that's one of his songs, I'm sure there's probably, it's worth checking out a bit further. I think I'm following Omnisphere, Project Omnisphere already.
I like it. I could definitely see Jarre and possibly Orbit. I don't really... I disagree with the Massive Attack feel to it. Maybe Massive Attack tends to have lyrics in their songs.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking musically.
Like if you're thinking about like Teardrop or anything like that, right?
Yeah, but imagine if you had someone singing over that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, okay, I can see it. I think that this is. Did you ever watch that movie Drive with Ryan Gosling? No, I think that this would be like one of the. Check it out. If you haven't seen it, and you have Netflix or Hulu or whatever. I don't know where it would be at right now. Bit of an older movie. You could probably look it up online somewhere. Not that I am recommending anybody to pirate any kind of anything, but maybe you can find some kind of pirate ship somewhere and get a free movie. Not that I condone that. There are free sites out there like that, though, right? So, the name of the movie is Drive. I believe it was Ryan Gosling. It was Ryan Gosling. Not that I believe it was Ryan Gosling. I could totally, because that movie had soundtracks kind of like this, right? So I could totally see this kind of this thing being this song, I should say, not this thing, but I could totally see the song being in that movie. It was good. I liked it. Very nice, very chill. Like what we were talking about before with the whole Amsterdam thing, right? Different climate, right? So,
yep.
Video game, absolutely.
Yep, and Amsterdam cafe music.
Yes. And so
special cafe, yes.
Here. Boom. And now, oh my goodness. Why are you like picking out stuff that's so hard to pronounce, man?
Well, some of the best music's from. The thing is, this is good to illustrate the fact that this is Turkish chappie, and Adim and Soyadim is the artist. If it's got the two the umlauts over it, it's Kidzani, Kaybediyoru or Kabediyoruz. So this one is I had to do this one because although we won't understand necessarily the lyrics, this song is about the anxiety of losing one's wallet. Yeah, and it says here.
I automatically have to wonder if they're doing something like Weird Al Yankovic style.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Like comedy, because this is the thing. If this is the song description, this is about the anxiety of losing someone's wallet, unless it's like a really anxious kind of thing. And you said Turkey? This would be Turkish?
Yeah.
Then I think maybe there's a comedy element behind there. But either way, they claim it as a pop song here. So can you please say the name of the song again?
Kidzani Kaybediyoruz.
By
Adim and Soyadim.
Here we go. Let's take a listen.
Cumartesi gecesi ani bir kalp krizi. Kafamda pelikanlar Adille dolmuştayız doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Lidya haritada yok. Eve geldik ne görelim. Cüzdan sedyede güzel. Adımı kaybediyorum. Ağlasak meme yok doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Kalpten göte kafa kol. Ayrıca düşününce kaybetmek alışkanlık. Ne anlatır bu şarkı? Anlamak perişanlık doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Cüzdanı kaybediyoruz doktor. Cumartesi gecesi ani bir kalp krizi.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, first off, vocals totally remind me of Matt Bellamy from Muse.
Yeah, I guess so.
Totally. When you get to that break, woo, right? Fuck, man, that's all I heard was Bellamy right there, right? And it was just yeah, I was very intrigued with the song because you know how usually we have comparisons like sounds like, right? This kind of seemed like beyond having like Bellamy's vocals in my mind, it kind of seemed like an original production, right? So it was very clever, I think. And once again, not understanding any of the words, I have to say that the breaks were very interesting and that the overall production was pretty well done. I would love to know what was being said, to know if this is kind of like a comedy, right? Because you know, with kind of like this kind of like down tempo style, you could be like, I lost my wallet and now it's flowing down the gutter, right? It could totally be something like that, and I just don't know. But I think that you know, for what it is, for what we listen to, with having this language barrier, that it's a great song, great production, great vocals. I think it was a very well done song.
I think it's very catchy with the stop starts and, as you say, the production. It's got a bit of a soundscape start as well, sort of puts you in the picture. He's in the high street and there's cars going by, loses his wallet and is obviously looking for it, desperately searching. I'm sure I did hear an English or two English words beginning with F and A right in the break bit in the middle of the song, but it might have been just that the Turkish words sounded like that. But through the vocals, which I don't think are the strongest in the world, but actually are very pleasant to listen to, I think he retains the Turkish feel because of the vocals are in Turkish. Now, other than that, there's no sort of Middle Eastern sort of reference at all. It's all synth pop sort of sounds. Very catchy, big drums in the break towards the end. Again, short and sweet song and really good to hear, quite catchy. And it would be great to know what he's saying. Yeah, so we want a translation. My ex-wife could translate that. She was Turkish Cypriot, so could speak Turkish. So
it would be nice. I would like to know what's being said because once again, if it's a serious song about anxiety, I would love to know what is being said. But then again, if it's a comedy song about the anxiety of losing somebody's wallet, then I'd like to know as well, because the lyrics obviously are going to make a big difference, right? So but I think very well done song. Honestly, it was good. It was
But
good.
look at the fact that this is never going to get played on mainstream radio, but there's artists out there creating this stuff, this very sort of British and US synth pop sort of tracks from Istanbul. I mean, it's just fantastic, and this is all out there. It's there for people.
This is why I keep telling people, welcome to the Underground Sound. And once again, if you want to learn anything about any of the artists that you are hearing, or on Carlos Fandango himself, or on me, DJ X-Tech, then please hop into the description below this page. Look up these artists once again, spread some love, maybe give them some recognition, because this is not the typical stuff that you're going to be hearing on the radio. This is why we love doing this show so much. It's a genuine passion for the both of us. And we just want to keep this going, because this really kind of like breaks out the music for you with the last song, especially, even though you do not know what's being said, you cannot help but kind of like get hooked on that song. I could see that song in my playlist, like, if I'm cooking, for example, and I get this playlist on, like, ooh, you know what I mean, like, get like catchy songs on there. If I threw that like right in the middle of a Muse song, then I think that I would like that very much.
Yeah. I agree. That actually takes. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, once again, visit the video description below. Find these artists, show them some love, please, because we need more original music like this. We don't need to be flooded with the same old that we'll hear a billion times. Yeah. I wonder, speaking of a billion times, I'm just going to look it up real quick. I wonder how many views Gangnam Style is up to.
Oh yeah, must be loads. That track, by the way, is our halfway stage, our little break. So I guess what we should be saying as well is that we're the Underground Sound, putting the us back into music.
There you go. I'll let I didn't. Did you write that on the other sheet?
It's on the crib sheet, yeah, the sort of format sheet. So I've got it at the bottom. We'll have to do one, so we remember. We have one person saying one thing, one person saying, please like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
My bad. We'll get that.
Well, what we've got to do is get into the habit of saying it at the start, the middle, and the end, just so that it's
still a very young show, folks.
That's true.
Very young for all intents and purposes. This is episode number 6 of the Underground Sound. You can also watch the Breakaway Show 1s and 2s Underground with DJ X-Tech right over here. That deals with music submissions that are given from all over the world directly. And because right now, Carlos and I here, Carlos Fandango, we kind of like troll through slaps and we find all these great artists to listen to. And once again, what's the Breakaway Show 1s and 2s? Well, actually, this would be the Breakaway Show from the 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
1s and 2s. The 1s and 2s were here originally, broke away to the Underground Sound, and we're just kind of like figuring stuff out from here. Once again, very young, but we will get our taglines in place and everything. Don't you worry. We'll figure out how to use these filters as well. So Gangnam Style, released 10 years ago. If you were to venture a guess.
Well, I guess let's think. A lot of people would have watched it several times. There's 7 billion, 8 billion people. So I'm given that the other one was 1 billion views and Gangnam Style was much more catchy. I've got to say, surely it's up to 1.5 billion or 2 billion or something like that. Something ridiculous.
4.4.
4.4 billion.
4.4 billion, which now officially means that over half of this planet has watched that music video.
Well, if they've watched it all once, yeah, I guess so. Yes, effectively.
Well,
yeah.
let's just say it.
Let's assume so. Yeah.
If the statistics are that one person, each, because think of the countries that don't even have internet access, don't have access to YouTube. Yeah. Countries like that still exist. So 4.4 billion views for Psy Gangnam Style is very, very impressive.
Just look what they're missing out on, Gangnam Style.
Are you kidding? This was the hit.
All that great music.
This was the hit 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was
nobody knew about this guy. Did you see his follow-up, Gentleman?
That was all right as well, wasn't it? It wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad. It had a very nice catchy beat. I didn't really, the video was kind of weird, but so was Gangnam Style. So, it was kind of, I was in Poland actually at the time also. And this came on Vivo, and an actual channel on the TV, obviously in Europe. I don't know if we have Vivo like on TV here or not. like regular TV. But in Poland, it was. So in either case, I remember this one coming on, and it was just kind of like, well, this is kind of weird. And people in Poland were pronouncing his name the way that, phonetically, psy. And psy in Polish is dogs.
Ah, right. I thought it was PSI, not realizing it was Psy. And
right. A lot of confusion, I think, with that name, because later on I would learn that it was Psy, but for about a month I called him Psy. I called them dogs, basically, essentially. So congratulations to Psy, I guess, with 4.4 billion views on his song Gangnam Style. And right now we are here with Armando Gonzalez. And what can you say about this song so far? Is this going to be a language barrier song again? Because everything's
it is. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Shall we take our little break, or did you want? Because it's the halfway stage at the moment. I don't mind. I can carry on all night, but
I can carry on. I can carry on right now. Also, you know what? Let's do that. I'll go have a quick cigarette. I'll find out, because my friend is flying in from Chicago today with her kids, and let me find out. So I'll send her a text. Let me just find out where she's at. So let's just do our break real quick right here. Yep. And when we get back, then we'll hop right back on into
no problem.
The music. I was gonna say we're gonna hop right back onto Armando Gonzalez, but we'll hop right back into the music from Armando Gonzalez. For the Underground Sound DJ X Carlos Fandango, we will take a quick break for you. It'll be completely seamless. Let's just call it, say, 15.
Yep.
Okay.
See you then.
15 will put us at 6:30. 5:30.
Yep, got you. No problem.
5:30. Okay. So
see you then.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
It
got hectic here all of a sudden. So hey.
That's all right.
All right. You know how it is. 2 kids and a traveling mother. So here we go. Here we are. Okay. So pretext to this. Any kind of like info to this song before we started?
Yeah, I don't know quite where he's from. It was just sort of well, actually, won't guess. But I have translated the text of the song where they introduce, that para aquelas. So it's basically for those people who do not know how to tell the person they like that they like them. I think they mean they can dedicate this song to him or them. So, and the actual song Una Carta d'Amor.
Una Carta d'Amor by
Song of Love? I don't know.
I think so.
Armando Gonzalez.
I'll check it out before the song is done. But here's Armando Gonzalez with Una Carta
d'Amor. A love letter.
A love letter. Okay. Good deal. Here we go. A lot of noise in the background. We're good though.
Y pienso que mirar las estrellas no se moverán si tú no estás cerca.
No dudes ni un momento, te haré feliz, yo te lo prometo, y yo volveré sin pensar, no hay lugar soñar contigo. Estaré aquí, siempre muy atento, dolerá, lo sé. Te soy muy sincero. Hay caminos que nos duelen más. Yo seré el soporte de tu fragilidad. Yo solo quiero estar contigo. Tu, 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 tu. Tu, 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 tu. Tu, 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 tu. Y yo. Oh, 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 oh. Y pienso que mirar las estrellas no se moverán si tú no estás cerca.
Take it away, Carl.
Right. Yeah, nice sound. The strings were nice, and it's a very delicate production. Seems like quite a sensitive soul. You can imagine, the word. You could probably just from the delivery imagine what the sort of words are if they're translated to English. Very nice end chord as well. The high notes. When he's got a very nice natural vocal. There's nothing, I don't, he might be using auto-tune here and there, but it's not noticeable, and it sounds like a very natural delivery to me. But the high notes, when he sings those high notes towards the end of the 2 high notes, I think I've put it in the comments there. It just reminds me of Caetano Veloso, the Brazilian singer composer, with his song Cuckoo La Paloma, this sound of the dove, and that's such a beautiful song. If you get a chance to listen to that one, that's so heartbreaking. It's just his rendition of that old song is brilliant. But yeah, I think it's I really like that one. It's a sad song. It's a love song. It's a beautiful little ballad. I think he's done a nice job there.
I think the production quality is very good on this song. I really like it, and if you take a look at the artwork is is pretty well done. Minor photoshopping and everything like that, but I mean it's good. Like as you were mentioning with the auto tune, it's there, but it's not like super noticeable. I think great job overall. I really wish that I could say something, on the lyrics, right? But this one, usually when I have a comment like, okay, the vocals are overlaid or anything like that, I do believe that this one is a completely professional production. It sounds that way at very least. So I think, good song all around. I just wish that I understood Spanish to the point where it was just kind of like, beautiful and very tender and very emotional song, which it sounds like it is, because I did understand one line, which I think it was the stars in your eyes. So obviously it's a love song and it's moving that way. So for all intents and purposes, I gotta say well done without knowing exactly what is being said there.
Yeah, and I think also I might have done it 3 in a row here where we've got foreign language songs, because I believe the next one might be, if I remember rightly, but if I remember rightly, it was quite a catchy one nevertheless. So the next one is going to be Seesaw Seagull. Everybody Wants Some. Posted 18 days ago. Now this, I'm just trying to work out where they're from. Yeah, another foreign one. So from foreign shores. So this one, so we're all over the world tonight. Seesaw Seagull is a home recording solo project by Kaito Tada from Tokyo.
Well, at least you are following the track back to the United States. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
5 tracks, 21 followers, 228 plays. Here is Seesaw Seagull with Soul Kick. I'm really glad that I didn't have to read the Chinese lettering there.
Oh no, it's the one below. It's the actual one we have got is.
Oh no, that's
further
right.
below.
Yeah,
He's released a few more since then. It was everybody wants some.
Okay, Everybody Wants Some is from the first EP, Frost Flower. So let's have a listen. Seesaw Seagull. Yeah. I felt like I would leave the robot head on, because of the whole Tokyo effect, right?
Yeah, of course. I was trying to find the right effect for it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there you go. I like how the antennas actually move depending on
yeah.
you open and close, right? So okay, enough silliness right there. All right. Let me see. So here's what I think, right? Completely, totally, 100% Weezer.
Mm.
Weezer vibe through and through. I think that the drum compression could use a little bit more. Vocals were slightly low in some parts. The lead guitar overpowers the rhythm and the vocals at some points during the song.
Yes.
I like the pan that they had going on, right? Where they were kind of like in the middle of it, where they were just kind of like, and that worked really great. I think that personally, the song was 1 minute too long.
Yes, I'd agree with that, actually. Yeah. I mean, interesting you say about Weezer. It's influenced by the US alternative rock of the 90s. Title, Everybody Wants Some, is from Richard Linklater's movie of the same name. So somebody who's very influenced by probably American culture. But I thought from the start, from the get-go, it was the bass hook really gets you in, and you're sort of into it already. And then there's a catchy vocal and guitar hook going together, and it's slightly sort of off kilter, sort of odd song, but it really captured that kind of vibe that they were setting out to achieve.
Well, that's the whole thing that I'm thinking there is if you listen to Weezer, the sweater song is what it's called. I was trying to think of the name of it. I thought I was going to lose it for a second, but it's called the sweater song. So it has that, if you want to destroy my sweater, oh, right. So listen to that one and compare it to this one, and I think that it's a bit of a match there. I like it. It's funky. It's groovy. I expect whenever I see Tokyo anywhere, I expect something really weird and eclectic to be happening like right off the bat, because you look at some of these memes like, what the hell is going on in Tokyo? Well, here's an octopus dressed in, whatever for whatever kind of parade and everything like that. So they do have some unusual stuff going on there, but it's catchy, it's listenable, right? But the thing is I definitely think that they are a startup band at the moment. That they're probably working out of a garage, a storage area, something like that, just kind of like trying to figure their groove out, which nothing wrong with that. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? So
so I mean, I guess it's just a production refinement in that particular instance. It's just a refinement of the production. You're saying about the compression. Now, for anybody who's watching or listening who doesn't know much about compression and so forth, explain what you'd mean about using more compression, and what it would do for the song.
Compression. Okay, so let's say you have a standard drum beat and you just kind of like hear this in the background. You just kind of have that going on, right? Without compression, it may sound like this. That may be a drum beat like right there without compression. But then when you get compression, there's reverb and there's echo and everything that goes behind it, but it's not so much focusing on reverb and echo because this all has to do with volume. This all has to do with volume and the way that, kind of like compression, when you think about taking a 600 megabyte file and turning it into a 30 megabyte file, with the help of WinZip or whatever the case may be, right? So you're taking this large amount of volume and you're shortening it down to basically expand the levels of it. So when you actually hear it, it gives it that nice pop. It's a boom, boom. You're not going to get this kind of like this very good effect without any kind of like real compression behind it, because compression also works on vocals. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bass drum or anything like that. Compression also works on vocals. It also works on guitar. It'll work on pretty much anything that you put it through, because it raises the intensity of the volume without clipping the actual track. So one thing to look into, I know it's more for me, I think that I would be better off, I should say, representing it visually. Like if I actually show somebody like how it looks, you know what I mean? Where when you bring up on Acid Pro, which is still one of my favorite DAWs, on Acid Pro, if you bring it down, it has 4 thresholds that you look at, and it's one here, one here, one here, and even those And even though those might be clipping, for example, your overall volume is not, but yet it just enhances the song that much more. So a lot to think about right there with compression. There are some good, really good live studio producers and directors who have videos on compression on YouTube. I suggest you check some of them out because it will help a lot with the overall sound. Excuse me, with the overall sound of your song.
Yes, and
It is a very important tool.
yeah, because the thing is, I hear people talking about the modern pop songs being sort of using compression to the nth degree, using it too much. However, I think if you're using it on something where the beat's not quite cutting through, it just helps it pierce through more pointedly and cuts out a lot of the fuzz around the sound, because it is exactly that. It's compressing the sound so that part of the sound comes through, rather than the whole sort of thing being fuzzy and lost, is the way I kind of visualize it myself. So it's but it basically does, if you use compression correctly on vocals, drums, whatever it might be, it just cuts through better into the track and pokes through a little bit more and gives that little place within the mix and the song, rather than just everything all melding together. It just gives everything its little bits of position in the song.
Well, here's the thing also with it, right? Is too much compression can sometimes be bad. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't want as much compression as, like, maybe you don't really want something poppy. Maybe you want something that sounds kind of like Michael Jackson style. You know what I mean? Where Michael Jackson style had the really low end compression where it wasn't like boom, boom, right? Because now a popular trend is going over compression, where you have a bass beat which would kind of sound maybe like this. Right, that now sounds like that.
Your noise cancellation cancels that out completely.
Did it really? So here, I was scratching. I was basically scratching my finger over the wind suppressor here. So if you do it yourself through your headphones, and you can imagine how that sounds. But that's the thing, is using over compression can kill a song as well. You have to find that right balance. But so if you're looking for something like really popular, like kind of like that, then you'll want to use a little bit more. And then you have to also tweak. Don't forget your equalization and automation, for that matter, also, is because there's a lot that goes into a song. A lot that goes into a song. It's not as simple as just recording and putting it all together right there. Okay, your automation, your compression, your your equalization, everything is important. Everything is important. Take your time on each individual track, on each individual stem. Once you have the stems put together, make sure that you have the proper amount of reverb going. Make sure that you have. Don't make anything so overpowering as to the point where it's not listenable. And just remember that always, whenever you're starting to do a mix down, remember to turn all your levels down to 0 and do each individual track and render it as a wave and save each individual track first before you start messing with it, because you might get to a point. I've done this a few times. I'm guilty of it. You may get to a point where you mess with something so much and you didn't save your original files that now it's completely unlistenable and you can do absolutely nothing about it. So remember, backups, and more backups. Invest in a 4 terabyte hard drive. 4 terabyte hard drives are now probably something around the course of $80. Not that big of an expense, but believe me, the space, the aggravation that you can save yourself is going to be very important.
Excellent. That's good.
Yeah. I thought you were going to follow up with something, but okay, but
no, it's fine. I just thought it would be good to, when we come across these, we occasionally sort of make comments on things, and I was just thinking, if there's anybody listening and watching who is new to production, I'm relatively new to production myself, so I'm still learning a lot of the terms, and it's always good to hear somebody else explaining it in a different way, because it might click. Sometimes people explain things and it goes over your head. Does mine. So it's always useful to have that.
I was actually going to start doing something where we talk about it, and then I do a graphic example of it where we're, because I talk about layering vocals, obviously, sometimes which you know what this means, but some people may not. So layering vocals, panning them, adding different effects to different vocals. If you have 3 different layered vocals, you may want to have reverb on one, echo on another, and then just natural pan left to right on the third. But yeah, we'll get into that as the show progresses. Once again, we're finding our groove stuff, like what we were talking about before. But the groove is getting there.
Yes, indeed.
And okay, so Purple Bowl of Destiny. Okay, I know I've been talking way too much.
Okay, right.
All right.
Here we go again. Om Nam Shiva.
And
Should look away, shouldn't I?
stop.
Right. Okay, it's one of those. Right. So what's come out here? I don't know what the DC rookie. I don't know. Anyway, that's the one where it says "We choose." I don't know what the DC Roo is, but where that come from. But it's "We choose." So this one is one that we choose.
DC Roo was the one co-host that I had the one time that you were not available.
Oh, right. Okay. So if I just change that to
time back when we were first starting to develop the show, and we were actually just going to go live on Twitch and everything like that. DC Roo was the gentleman that sat beside me that one episode, and we ended up doing like a 4-hour thing of it. And I'll have to find that audio somewhere, because that was actually, we went through quite a bit. We talked a lot, but we did a lot of not only slaps but YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. So we choose Carl.
Right. So what shall we choose? What do we fancy? Something a bit
here.
different, alternative. Do you know there's? Yeah, just whiz through that list and see. Maybe
Here we go. So
do you know they've got Christian stuff, they've got comedy stuff, they've got country stuff, jazz, rock.
So here's what I did. I did oh my goodness. Okay.
All right.
Goddamn house guests. No, you know what the problem is everything in my community is controlled by your phone. So there's no keys. There's no physical keys to get in anywhere. Except
right. Okay.
Your mailbox, right? So everything else is on this app, and you have to turn the app on to open the doors, and it pretty much gets you in wherever you need to go, whether it be my place or the mail room or anywhere, right? So I had to even send her an invite to be able to open my door. So we were just trying to figure out the pool thing out, which is groovy technology, right? Okay.
Yeah, incredible.
Let's breeze through this, buddy.
I'll take it from this point here. So we've got "We choose."
We choose. That's right.
So you can edit it easily.
No, we did.
So what do we choose? Now there's all sorts of things like British music, classical, folk, country, comedy, ambient.
Swipe down 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 swipes on the mouse to get down to here. So let's choose from here. We got jazz, hop, neo soul, hip hop instrumentals, emo, funk, trip hop, dark ambient, retro synthwave. We already had that. Deep house or Afro beats, or if you want, we could get a little bit further. Afro beats, America, British music,
British music.
Okay, there you go. 345 members only.
Yeah.
Music of all kinds from Great Britain.
And what's new?
Yep, here we go. Brand new. As soon as it stops loading.
That's the one.
It is Ruth, which is Angelus Uxorum. Sunburst at the Lake.
Yes, I've heard her stuff before, actually, fairly recently.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's quite sort of pleasant, sort of instrumental music mainly, I think. But she goes into all the, well, as you see there, inspired by Jean-Michel Jarre there, but she's also talking about various modes, Mixolydian mode, and inspired by winter solstice and stuff like that. So I think she's really sort of musically, classically trained.
Well, let's do this one because this seems to be right up our alley right here. 2 minutes, 19 seconds, 59 fires. Let's get a little more information on Ruth real quick. So
I remember messaging and talking to her, Ruth, actually, yes.
From Sheffield with 14 tracks, 484 plays, 33 followers, and records music once again under the name Angelus Exorum. And this is Sunburst at the Lake. right.
Mm.
Sunburst at the Lake. What do you think, Carl?
I can definitely hear the Jean-Michel Jarre influence. It sounds like something from
Absolutely.
Equinox album. Very 80s retro sound. It's like something I've written down used in an open university science program. So it's that kind of sort of, yeah, those kind of sort of geeky sciencey programs from the 80s. I really like that, actually. It's good. I could definitely listen to that again. And it's because it's got that Jean-Michel Jarre influence, particularly in the sort of final quarter, third of the song. It's only 2 minutes 19 as well. It's not like going to take much of your time of your day. Yes, Justine,
Yeah,
who's yeah,
Justine from Wayward Waves. Like
Wayward Waves. Yeah,
really
well,
beautiful
I've been
production.
chatting. Yeah, I've been chatting to her because I think we're working on a song. I've written a song that, or I've just written the chords for a song that I'm going to send across to her. She's going to work on it. We're going to collaborate for the next album, and yeah, she's been sort of fairly active. She's got another one coming out a couple of weeks' time, I think. And she's working on something now. She's trying to sort of do a song a month.
Very cool. You know, it's really nice that when we review somebody like previously, and we see them pop up in the comments section of other music where they're kind of like going at, kind of like, to me, it really shows dedication on the part,
Yeah.
because she's like sitting here and maybe trying to listen to, okay, well, how can I do this and how can I do that, right? She's trying to gain some knowledge for herself. As far as this song goes right here, it's a nice opening, kind of like, wow, opening salvo for something, right? So like what you were talking about, like kind of like maybe a TED Talk thing, or or a school university kind of like presentation, something like that. It did sound like real good. It didn't really seem to kind of like have a distinct story or anything like that, really. But once again, very Jar stylish, very much so. It's enjoyable. It's not overbearing. It's definitely all very classic synth, kind of like either equipment or the VSTs, the sounds, right? It's all very kind of like classic, like 80s kind of stuff. So I think I think the production is there, but I mean, with only being again 2 minutes 19 seconds we're going out here, right? Kind of like hard to pinpoint, like especially when there weren't any differences, because this kind of like felt like let's say like Apple was releasing a brand new iWatch somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This kind of feels like, dim the lights, put the fog out, you know what I mean? Get some laser lights out there and everything like that. Kind of like a very trippy kind of like sequence to an opening of something of that sort is where I would think that this would fit.
Well, this is the thing. You see, on a Jean-Michel Jarre album, this would be a movement within a piece. Yeah. So this would be sort of like a Equinox part 1, then part 2, part 3. So this is the thing about the modern tracks, because they're all individual tracks. Even if you're listening to an album, a lot of people don't listen to the whole album as it's intended. So it's quite frustrating, because I try to listen to albums as they're intended. So something like Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, Pink Floyd, all of those ones, there'll be concept albums, and there'll be a reason why they placed the songs where they did and what they did, and the flow of the album. So this would make a good album track as just as introduction to the whole thing taking off, rather than a single or something. But and you can see from her profile picture, when you go on Slaps, she's surrounded by, she's even got a t-shirt with musical notes and stuff on it, but she's definitely in the retro camp, classically trained, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, is that like an Apple IIe right there? Like, seriously?
Well, look at that equipment. I mean, she's got surrounded by that retro. It's great, isn't it?
Like, listen, this is a beautiful picture right here, right? Because this is like literally the way that music production took place. It looks like she's going off of a like, honestly, something that looks maybe Windows XP based, even, right? To like a standalone CD recorder.
Wow.
Right. And then you have all the additional stereo equipment here, and then you just have a ton of keyboards here. modern iPhone, nice touch right there, but with a very with kind of like a very simple progressive mixer right there. So
Mm,
this I think that this is a Sony CD burner like the old one.
yeah.
Oh my
And
god, that so totally looks like a Sony thing.
And from communicating with her on, I commented on a couple of tracks, and she commented on mine, and we had a bit of an exchange of chat about things, and messaged, and she's really enthusiastic, really keen, and very communicative. So again, I'm sure, there'll be artists out there that could easily collaborate with her and get some good music done, but she stands alone. Actually, this was a collaboration with there's a vocal mix as well, Sunburst at the Lake, on her track profile, and that's with Robert Fisher from Stingrays. There's a vocal version. So I would say to you, if you like Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, all that sort of retro synth electronic music, check her out because she's done some good stuff.
Do you remember those CDs like what you're talking about, like like part one would lead into part two and part two would lead into part three. And
They
sometimes
segue, yeah.
and sometimes it would only be like a 3 or 4 song CD that literally took up like an entire 60 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Without any kind of like breaks, right? It would just all of a sudden track 2 would just show up, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of like reminds me of something like that, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the music in itself or anything like that, right? It just that would be the beginning to something that would like open up to an entirely like kind of like a different kind of like a dialogue and an epitome and everything like that, right? Like everything would build, and then we kind of like get to the end and kind of like simmer down. So I could see that as being like one of those tracks where it's like a full 60 minutes that you're listening to an actual one song, but it happens to be track 1 of that particular song, right? Which is great. So kudos, because it sounds good. It definitely does, once again, just kind of like seem like the opening to something bigger. And I, as we talked about before with Kate Bush, I 100% hope that it is an opening to something bigger, because once again, you never know. So anyone that's joining us for the first time, we are the Underground Sound. I am DJ X Tech. This is Carlos Fandango with me over there.
Hi.
On the other side of the pond, as we say in Kent, England. And what we like is, hey, we like independent and underground musicians. We like all music in particular, but we do like the independent and indie underground musicians, because they always offer something new. And it's just fantastic that we've listened to this many songs thus far, and haven't really heard any of the same kind of a thing, right? So we don't hear it. We make comparisons, of course we do, but we want people to know that, hey, you know what? You're great because you sound like this, or you're great because you sound like this, or you're great because you sound like yourself. And this is just the way that we like to carry the program. So, Carl.
Right, so this chap is called Tim Churchill. It's quite a quirky track, this one, and you might like it. It's singer-songwriter influenced by classic pop rock like the Beatles, Procol Harum, the Beach Boys, the Zombies, ELO, Elton John, etc. And he's originally from the Pacific Northwest, lived in Southern California on and off for about 15 years, now residing in central Missouri. Been writing songs for over 30 years, much like myself, really. So since the sort of mid to late 80s, writing songs and, finally sort of getting them out there and recording them. And I think this one's, it's definitely got a retro vibe about it. It's good.
Tim Churchill, any relation? You don't think that?
Don't think so, but you never know with these things. No, probably not. Mind you, Churchill is of American origin. Yeah, his mum was American, so possibly.
But was Winston musically inclined? Do you know? Was there any kind of like data to back that up?
I don't think so at all. Actually,
He was a busy man, wasn't he?
He was extremely prolific. He wrote more words than, I can't remember how many million words he wrote. It's something ridiculous. Just the number of words he wrote. But he was incredibly prolific. Yeah, wrote his own history and the history of the Second World War, history of his great grandfather. Just ridiculously prolific, busy person. Absolute genius, really. Absolutely brilliant. So, no, I don't think any relation. But if you ever get a chance when you're over this country, go to Chartwell. It's a great place to go because that was Churchill's home from about the sort of mid 1920s onwards.
All right. Well, here we go. This is Tim Churchill. We don't know if any relation or yet, just yet, I should say, because hey, maybe he wrote some of the lyrics for his younger brother here, Tim, right? So it would be nice. It's always a nice thought. Come on, Tim Churchill with "Mind Your P's and Q's."
Smells of coffee, jasmine, and cigarettes. She's the kind of teacher no one soon forgets. Writing sonnets on the blackboard in fishnet hose. Then she wants her noisy pupils. Mind your P's and Q's. Cross your T's and dot your I's. This old world just might let you survive alive. She's got the look of trouble with a poet's heart. She's got a world of wisdom to impart. She's been better than Mark around, heartbroken many ways. She's had a life turned upside down, so many lonely nights and days. Teaching words of truth and beauty in a mini skirt, steadfast to her earthly duty. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mind your P's and Q's. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Hope that all of you take my advice. Be wise.
Why does she keep on going? Staying up all night. Maybe she can change one more life. Oh yeah.
She can make it do one more day. She can make it do one more hour. They'll never take her spirit away. Yeah, she's still got the power. She smells of coffee, jasmine, and cigarettes. She's the kind of woman with no regrets. No regrets.
I was just looking at the first comment there. Well, now a whole bunch have passed, but Queens of the Stone Age is, I don't know why I didn't think of Queens of the Stone Age. What I had thought of, honestly, is we were kind of like going back to Weezer and maybe even a little bit, kind of like early days Sex Pistols, right? When we're talking about like kind of like being in a garage, kind of like start a band and everything like that. And what else did I have here that I kind of like early part of the verse? Oh, the snare drum in the early part of verse 1 where it kind of like kicked over, and this is once again touching on the thing that we were talking about compression. Is this is obviously maybe a microphone set up from a condenser microphone set up from up high, trying to catch all the drum sounds at the same time. where if you invest into a nice microphone kit, where you can like get one on the cymbals, get one on the snare, get one on the bass and everything like that, then maybe that could sound better. But I was reluctantly kind of like thinking about the vocals, where it has a slight of a Gorillaz feel to it, a little bit, and with the spoken word, a little bit of Henry Rollins, but without being like as heavy as Henry Rollins, because Henry Rollins was really kind of like, kind of like if you're gonna look at death metal spoken word, then Henry Rollins was definitely like death metal spoken word, right? Because he definitely had his band had that whole like really hard hitting, like, oh, yeah, right? It really like kind of like whipped, I think. So that's my personal opinion there. I liked it though. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it's a good track. It's very old school. And you said about the Gorillas, I actually put down Blur because it feels like Damon Albarn. So there's definitely that sort of sound vocally, I think, on it, and with the music as well. In fact, I think lyrically, really good lines like "She smells of coffee, jasmine, and cigarettes," and very Elvis Costello in terms of lyrics. And I think if the one thing I would say, before I go to that, I would say the piano scales were quite unusual and good. It just brings a sort of little bit of off kilter, sort of unusual, odd feel to it. But very catchy with the and la 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 la's, and again very Blur like, but a little more. I think if someone like Elvis Costello had done that, or Blur, there would be a bit more oomph in the song. And that's the one thing I really am desperate to hear in this. It might be a deliberate thing that it's kind of slightly sort of tinny production, but I feel like it needs a bit more meat in the bass end and the middle end, just a bit more in there, just to give it a bit more oomph. And I'm not normally one for adding too much bass, but I think in that instance, it would benefit just by having a bit more drive. That's probably what I'm looking for.
It would.
But I really like the song, but it just lacks a tiny bit of drive and a bit more a bit more attention in the production end, and I think that would be a really, really good song.
It would be. And the very first thing that I thought of here was I just noticed that one of the inspirations listed is Billy Joel. When I saw this, especially, I thought of Billy Joel's Sledgehammer. Like, just right off the bat, it just kind of like came to me. But then I noticed right over here, it's just like, right, where is it? Rod Stewart, Steely Dan, Eric Clapton. Oh my God, did I just take it away? No, that right there. Billy Joel. Billy Joel. Kind of thought that, but hey. All right.
Yeah. But yeah,
well,
very good.
Well, how time flies when you're having fun. Goodness. What do we got going on here? Stefano May with We Are the Power. What can you tell me about this song?
Right. Okay. This one was originally, it was reposted I know it's 3 months ago. It's not hot off the press, and it was a repost from 3 months ago, but I thought I'd draw attention to it because he's only released 3 songs on Slaps so far. But it says Stefano is a singer, songwriter, and piano virtuoso, born in Italy, classically trained at the Conservatory Santa Cecilia in Rome. Now, he's appeared and performed on a multitude of popular Italian TV shows, so he's actually quite used to the sort of music profession side of things. But you'll hear it this is why I've chosen it as tonight's end track, the underground sound showstopper, because it's an incredibly professional single, and you'll hear that when we hear it when you listen to the song. But it's I thought it's quite a nice message as well. It says in Stefano's upcoming single "We Are the Power," the songwriter invites us all to take part in the healing the world together. But it goes on a bit further into this. But you'll hear it when you listen to the song. It's good.
Anything about healing the world together, I'm very much down for. As a lot of you know that are listening, the world is in a bit of a downward spiral today. People are not getting along for the simplest of reasons, and we need to do away with that, and as quickly as possible. We need to get back to treating human beings as human beings, and let's go on with that. So I'm going to trust Carl with my life on this song. And so, yeah, Stefano May with "We Are the Power." Let's check it out.
We're so much stronger when we appear. Tell each other just how we feel. I just want enough for you. Take on the things we must do. I don't want to feel for you. Sometimes we just have to try everything, making us to hear our voices sing. I don't want to fall in line. I don't want to tear inside. We must be free from pain. We're the power. We have the way to inspire. We light the match for the fire. I know we're gonna make it real. I just wanna see all that we can be, 'cause deep inside we're the power. Great things are born from desire. Deep down to raise us up fire. I know we're gonna make it real. I just wanna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. I'm not looking too far again. We must do all that we can. We just have to see this through. Take the old and make it new. I'm just gonna have a faith in you. We might fail every now and then, but we will rise to fight again. We don't have to take that no. Strength in numbers always show. I just wanna pray for you. We have the way to inspire. We like the match for the fire. I know we're gonna make it real. I just wanna see all that we can be, 'cause deep inside we're the power. Great things are born from desire. Deep down to raise us up fire. We just have to make it real. I just wanna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. Make this real. I'm gonna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. Make this real. I'm gonna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. Make this real. I'm gonna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. Make this real. I'm gonna do all this for you, just so we can make this real. We're the power. We are the way to inspire. We like the match for the fire. I know we're gonna make it real. I just wanna see all that we can be, 'cause deep inside we're the power. Great things are born from desire. Deep down to raise us up fire. We just have to make it real. I just wanna do all this for you, just so we can make this real. I'm gonna do all of this for you, just so we can make this real. Make this real.
Yeah, see, I put the flower thing on because I think ultimately, I mean, inspirational. I mean, that's great. Stefano May, Los Angeles, California, 19
Okay.
followers, 141 plays, 3 tracks. You can read all
Knows
that there.
Franco Zeffirelli, the director.
Okay.
Well, I thought, I've got to say, it's very professional, well written, well constructed. Yeah, very modern and very much sort of show type track, but key change at the end as well. You know, it's got everything. The backing singers sounded like the Hosiers, Take Me to Church, that sort of kind of slightly gospely sound. Really professional voice and delivery. it's a very Saturday Night X Factor song in terms of you could imagine a contestant on their journey to the final, and they're having that summary thing that they do for 5 minutes where they're talking about, oh, I was down and out, and I'm doing it for my niece who has cancer, and I'm, all this the sob stories thing, and they've made it to the final against all the odds. So it's that kind of song, the inspirational song that they need on the X Factor, on
Right.
to promote somebody. But it's a really strong song, and I think it should be heard.
It should be. You're absolutely right. I do like the line, and I made a note of it, like, right off the bat, first off the bat, I should say. So tell each other just how we feel. This is the point of communication, right? Is if we tell each other just how we feel, then we're going to understand how each individual person feels. We can't go around guessing how people feel, right? So that was great. That was mentioned, is tell each other just how we feel. I think that should really be a staple right there. That angelic background, those angelic background singers, that really gave the song a lot of substance. It's not that Stefano here doesn't have a solid voice, but those background singers really added a lot of for lack of a better word with the song, right? And the message is really solid, and it's a very inspirational song. I don't see how you cannot like it.
Yeah, I think so. And the line, tell each other, I think also, could easily be followed by and listen. The important part is the listening part and
Yes.
understanding, just having that empathy. I think it's a nice song to end on because, we are the power. I think we see this, it's a kind of, power to the people. John Lennon's sort of anthemic song, really, in a way, because, when the Dutch farmers rise against the government in Holland or Netherlands, I should say, and when the truckers rose against Trudeau, the people do have the power. But the power really comes from being, I think, the true power comes from the individual being honest to themselves first and foremost, respecting themselves, and then respecting others and being honest with each other.
Yes.
That's where the power comes from.
Yes, sir. To thine own self be true.
Exactly.
That would be where we're at with this song, first of all, right? Which, to thine own self be true, tell each other how we feel, listen to one another, because once again, conversation is just not waiting for your moment to speak. It is actually listening and absorbing what the other person is telling you as well. So I think we can leave it off at that right here. It's a great, powerful song. I did enjoy it. I'm going to be looking forward to listening to more from Stefano over here. It's just because
Indeed.
I'm trying to think. When I heard it at first, I started thinking back to the '80s when they did, "We Are the World."
Yep.
And it just kind of had like that unity kind of fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like unity. We're all in this together. And so that really was where I was at when tell each other just how we feel, right? And when we go back to thine own self be true, then that's the thing, is be real, not only to other people, but be real to yourself. Learn who you are inside before you step out the door, I think.
Well, this is the thing. It's the Jordan Peterson. One of his rules is, don't tell the truth, or at least don't lie. And this is the whole point. Is it's really important to be true to thine self. There's so much power in that, because if you're true to yourself, I know somebody, a good friend of mine, who's just said to me, I've just decided recently I'm going to start being honest and you're trying to tell the truth, because you just end up wrapping yourself up in your own lies and have to remember what you've said, who you've said it to, when you've said it, and remember all the lies and duplicity. It's being true and honest is not an easy road. It's quite a bumpy road, but it's in the long term, it's so much better. And I think that song really sort of says a lot of things. It's got that universal appeal. It's obviously been deliberately written as a universal, unifying song. I've no problem with that because it's unashamedly meaning to be that. It's got a very positive message.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no pro-war songs. There's always plenty of anti-war songs.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So
Well, you never know. They might have pro-war songs in like North Korea or Russia. You never know.
yeah, I guess there's some.
I really, you know what? Disregard what I just said there, honestly, because I really do believe that people are inherently good. I do believe that.
I think we're a mix of both, really.
It's being really more and more and more difficult to believe that these days. But I do believe that people, the individual person, is inherently good. I don't believe that you, Carlos, are, you might lose your shit. Who knows? And you might walk out and just like stab people with a pen, for crying out loud, But but you're not looking for that. You're not looking for that tomorrow, Are there some people that are looking for that tomorrow? Yes, there are. But, but we need to disregard the fear portion of life and going on about living your daily life because, there's a small majority of people that might do something. But, yeah, the overwhelming message of positivity and just kind of like be yourself is always the most important thing that I've said, because if you're not yourself, then who the hell are you? You can't have borrowed personalities. Develop a personality on your own, then you won't have to do fucking stupid shit like what we see on on TikTok, like I'm gonna burn this cactus and then jump into it at the same time. Like, why, man? You know what I mean? Like, there's absolutely no reason for this. Like, right now
For
things
attention, that's the reason. It's attention.
Yeah, believe me that if you actually have something to say, if you are your own person and you actually have something to say, people will listen. It's an undeniable fact of life here. We really need to get back to that. We really need to get back to the especially the art of conversation, I think.
Oh yeah.
The art of conversation is so many people are scared to go up to another person and just open their mouths because of what they may conceive as being judgment. But when you realize, and you do need to realize this quickly, is it's not judgment. It's just somebody having, a different viewpoint and expressing it to you. And then if you can retort and they can retort and you all can, shake hands and leave at the end of the day, then, hey, we are a better world for it.
Well, I think years ago, on YouTube, there's no shortage of the old clips and videos of discussions and political debates and all these kind of things, and interviews where, they're expressing lots of ideas and views, and you've got people that are just sitting there on the panel listening and then responding while the others listen, and then the others respond as well, each in turn without interrupting anybody, and they're just listening and then responding and trying to put a cohesive argument together in response. One of the things you can do with people is, if you're talking to them, is just repeat back your understanding of what they've just said. That's quite a powerful tool, really, because then they know you've heard what they've said, and they appreciate that and know that you've really listened and understood what they've said. And then when your reply comes as to the reasons why they might be, you think, wrong or what have you, then at least they're more likely to listen to it because they know you've actually listened to them. And people being listened to is one of the key things, really. And people want to feel like they're being listened to, especially us artists, us music artists. That's really important for us as well.
Yeah,
but,
it is. But I mean, the golden rule is just, I think that personally, listen to yourself inside of your own head, right? And just think, do you want somebody to listen to you, right? And if your answer is yes to that question, then think that the other person that's in front of you wants you to listen to them, right? Once again, conversation is not just waiting for your turn to speak. It is actually listening and absorbing. So if you listen and absorb what somebody else has to say, and then you can actually follow up with a nice conclusional kind of like intelligent recourse to it, then everything will just go so much smoothly, I think.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, believe me, We don't need to turn everything into a fight. We don't need to turn everything, extremely controversial. We don't need to, all of us, fall on our last nerve just for a mere sentence or paragraph or whatever the case may be, right? This is all stop, think, listen, breathe, respond, right? Is the way that I think it. And this is why, once again, we talked about, I think, the last episode, why Jordan Peterson is my man crush, because he's seriously, he takes, I was watching this interview again. I can't remember who was interviewing him, but it was another woman, and they were talking about something with equality in the workplace or whatever it is, right? And of course it was right off the bat, it was just attack, 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 right? But Jordan, he didn't take it that way, right? He put on that blank face that he has, and he stopped, and he thought about it, and he was absorbing every single word that was said, and then he kind of took that deep breath, and then he was like, okay, well, what if this, and he offered a logical conclusion to it. So if you can master the art of listening, comprehending, and actually acknowledging what you are talking about, then believe me, we will go far in this world still. There is a lot of life left in all of us. I do not believe that the world is ending in 2025. I hope not, for crying out loud. Which is the latest estimate. But I hope the underground sound will be on for longer than 3 years, for crying out loud, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to keep this going. I'm really enjoying it. Love putting the tracks together. Love searching through for the tracks on Slaps and compiling them, adding them in order, in a sensible order on the show. And then we've got the random element of the Purple Bowl of Destiny twice each time we do it. So it's a nice mix. And tonight we had some great tracks and from all over the world, exciting stuff from artists. They're out there. We would encourage people to check them out on whatever platform you listen to, whether it be Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon Music, whatever it might be. Check out those artists that we've featured, the ones that appeal to you. Listen to their stuff, download it, listen to it. Any listens you can do help support the artists. And they get 0.003 cents per play on Spotify, ridiculously small amount of money. But being listened to and having followers really does make a difference for these artists then to feel like they want to make more music for you. And it's good.
For the American translation right there, not 3 cents means 0.0003 cents per 1,000 streams is what the artists are getting for making all this incredible music for you. And once again, just touching on the point that we were touching about before, is let's all treat each other like human beings. Let's all be respectful to each other. And as Carl said, please visit these artists. The links are down below. You can visit them on Slaps, but usually Slaps will have links to the other things. Like if you're looking at Stefano May right over here with his song Prayer, you can see that he has a link to Spotify, and he has a link to YouTube, and he has a link to Apple Music. So wherever you can, if you are so inclined to, if you are a musician yourself, you know how important this is, then listen to his song on Spotify, listen to his song on Apple Music, listen to his song on YouTube. Let's kick up that algorithm at very least. It's not costing you anything except a little bit of your time. That's it. If you do want to buy the song, then obviously I encourage that to anybody that does, because that gives even more, just that much more support to the artist. But whatever way you can, once again, links are in the description, the video description below, to all these great musicians, all these fantastic musicians, everything that we do, the website, pulsemediamag.com, Carlos Fandango, DJ X Tech. We are going to be signing off on this 15th of July. And you know what? That's how I forgot to start the show off in the first place, was I was going to tell you happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, because I know I had already sent it on WhatsApp, so I totally forgot about it on today's episode. So happy belated birthday to our own Carlos Fandango right here. Once again, if you see what's going on here, Carlos leaves a lot of comments for everybody here. So if you'd like to hear Carlos's music, please find Carlos Fandango music on Slaps. It will be in the video description as well. If you'd like to listen to some of my stuff, which probably you don't, it's all good. I don't, whatever. I make music for me, but I am DJ X Tech. You can look me up, anywhere in the video description as well. And I personally want to thank all the musicians here for making the incredible music that they do, which gives us a foundation to build the show on in the first place. Want to thank Carlos, for joining me every week and doing this entire thing, which started off as it started off very simply. It's turned into and blossomed into something way more beautiful. We now have 102 subscribers.
Wow, that's good. It's growing, steadily growing.
We have triple digits now, and the most important thing is somebody asks is like, why would you be proud of 102 subscribers? And I'm proud of 102 subscribers because these are natural. These are organic. I didn't pay anybody to be a subscriber. I didn't force anybody. I didn't coerce anybody. I didn't say like, hey, if you subscribe, I'll play your song. I've never done anything of the sorts. So 102 organic subscribers. It's a beautiful thing, I think, personally. We did take a big break in the middle for obvious reasons. Well, not obvious reasons, for reasons unknown to close but personal friends, and then we had just about this kind of like just about a month-long pause before I could get anything done because of the new computer situation and everything like that. But now we're kind of like back to normal, and hopefully then we'll just keep on moving smoothly and just keep on cranking all this stuff out. And it's working out great that videos render in like 8 minutes when it's like a 50 gigabyte video. That is just awesome. So I want to thank you, friends, once again. Keep making the music that you're making. Keep listening to the people that you listen to. Keep your mind as your own. Remember, don't follow the crowd when it comes to being yourself. It's very important to be yourself, have your own personality, because if you don't, once again, you have a borrowed personality. In that case, well, who are you? And on that note, once again, I'm DJ Exec, Carlos Fandango. Thank you very much, sir.
Yep, thank you very much. We've been the underground sound, putting the us back into music. So please do like, subscribe, and share. Let's get your music out there.